here today with my friend and colleague Sylvia Beloy from Lehlohonolo HR Consulting. My name is Megan Hudson and I'm a business and marketing coach, and Sylvia and I have worked together extensively over the last 10 to 15 years. It's such an exciting time in South African lives this month. It's Heritage Month. On the 24th of September, we celebrate Heritage Day. And in a society where there are 11 different official languages and many more different cultural, cultures in our country, our heritage is incredibly rich. Talk a little bit, Sylvia, about how you see a multicultural, multilingual society with such a rich heritage in terms of transition.
Thanks, Megan. Always a pleasure to talk to you. You know, in my work as an industrial psychologist and a transition coach, I get to interact with people from various backgrounds. So it's so important this month, it shows the diversity of our nation. We usually call it the Rainbow Nation because it brings, the uniqueness. And at times we're thinking that diversity is a bad thing, and actually it's not, because once you look at the diversity and you work with it, you get a lot more out of the people. So I'm excited. I love the color that we see, in our nation, the food, the dance. So for me, it's a beautiful month where we get to relive those things that we have and see from different cultures as well. So I'm excited about that. And then the way it links with transition is that you'll find that people are transitioning. It doesn't matter which background you're coming from, because transition is transition. We go through things in life. So you may be going through divorce, you may be going through job loss, you may have lost a loved one. So in that process, to move from where you are to the next level, you need to transition. So it's so important to realize that sometimes it's because of your perspectives. Someone may transition more effectively than the other, but it's your journey. So you don't have to be hard on yourself. Just focus on your journey, and you'll see the difference, and you'll have that effective transition.
It's so interesting that you bring up the word diversity, because of course diversity, equality and inclusion are becoming big buzzwords internationally, and those creating diversity or comfort around diversity, creating true equality and inclusion are all transitions that people have to go through. And I don't know whether you have a comment, something to say on that subject.
Yes, yeah. I think, in organization it's becoming so important, to focus on inclusion, focus on diversity, because once you enhance that, people start working effectively together. It helps them, individually they feel better because they know they are delivering on what they're supposed to do. And then the teams also becomes effective, working in a team, there's harmony. And then also for the organization, because when the organization, the people are working together, then the organization succeeds. So business success is actually dependent on those issues of diversity that at times, we put them in the back burner. But I'm glad, in our country, we're putting them always, they get back into the agenda. In the boardrooms, they get discussed there. So really excited. As we're celebrating this Heritage Month, we get reminded of where we're coming from and where we're at. And the future is bright.
One final question. Have you experienced, in terms of people's heritage or cultural background, that some people are less open to seeking assistance in working proactively through a major transition in their lives?
Yes, I think the COVID has actually kind of equalized things. Before the COVID, there were few people who would openly, say that I'm struggling, I need assistance. What COVID has done, it has normalized it, because now in the family, not one person is going through transition. So it's like almost everyone in the family is going through their own transition. And also in the community, in the workplace. So it actually has forced or advanced that, talking about it. It's now become easier for people to talk about it, to say, I'm not fine, and it's okay not to be fine. So I think with the COVID, it has shifted a lot of things, and now people are more likely, to ask for help. And we believe that asking for help, is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness, as we have been made to believe in the past, that you can't talk about it. But talk about it, and the minute you raise your hand, people are able to support you. And people who transition effectively are actually the ones that are surrounded by people. And at times it could be your friends, it could be your family, your pastor, but also at times you need the professionals, you need the counselors, you need the coaches, you need the psychologists. So there's a whole lot of practitioners that are there to assist people who are going through transition, but specifically the transition coach, because we understand the transition that you're going through. So we're able to help you maximize that, and then in no time you're able to go back, to the new. You can't go back to where you've been, so you shift to the next level.
And you're a qualified industrial and organizational psychologist, so you've got a very high level of psychological literacy. So you can help people through transition from a psychological and emotional perspective. And I know that you also, in addition to your coaching services, you offer consulting, as well as you're accredited in a number of different assessment tools. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the tools, the assessment tools are essential, because they help people to understand themselves. And for example, we deal with teams. There's this tool that I use a lot for teams. It's a good tool because it gives everyone an understanding of each other. Because at times people fight because of their differences in terms of their profile. But once they understand that, it becomes easier, because the thing that used to frustrate you about the other person, you actually understand where it's coming from, and you can work together, because one person has got something they know, meanwhile the other one doesn't have. So if you come together, both of you, you're actually able to do greater things together.
So that's wonderful. So a really powerful tool for creating inclusion and equality at a meaningful level.
Yes, yeah, no, definitely. I think there's a good start. And once you understand yourself, because at times you need to appreciate yourself and the things that, your strength and your developmental areas. So some of the assessments, they'll give you that information. And once you understand, then you know what you can work with. So when we look at some of our programs that we run, we do self-mastery, so those are some of the programs where it enables the individual to focus on themselves and be effective in what they do.
Speaking of programs, I know that you have 2 programs around transition. You have a 1-month or 4-week program, and then you also have a 3-month program. Would you like to just share a few details?
Yes, yeah, thanks, Megan. The 1 month is we give you tools, to run. It's people who are already in transition, and you just need, someone just to enable you to move quicker. And then there's a 3-month, which is so intensive for people who are really struggling with the transition, because some people, they already making the shift a lot quicker, but the ones that are struggling, we have that intensive 3 month. And in the 3 month, you'll be able to go through each and every step, guided by the industrial psychologist and also the transition coach. So that helps, in terms of this, to make that transition much more effective and lasting as well.
Now, I know that you have also recorded an audiobook around transition, and in that audiobook you include 5 strategies that people can look at in order to deal with transition. So we will drop a link to the audiobook, to where people can listen to the audiobook below this video. And we'll also drop the links to your website, your email address, and everywhere on social media that people can find you if they have any questions for you.
Yes, thank you. I think, people must just check out the audiobook, because there's different things that we speak about, that transition at both personal and professional level, and everything is there, and they can share And come to us as well, because some people may be thinking after listening to it that I'm not too sure whether I'm in transition or not. So they can drop us a note and then we'll be able to engage with them just to enable them to realize whether they're in transition or not.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. This has been a really exciting conversation, and we are looking forward to celebrating our incredible heritage on the 24th of September.
Thanks, Megan, and happy Heritage Month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.